Like how long? How long you gonna sit around and research? How many YouTube searches? How many days are you gonna rack up and add watch time to other people's channel before you actually start your own? How many times are you going to gang listen to podcasts before you create yours? How many times are you going to watch other people every Friday drop an album and go out and download it onto your phone and ride through the city listening to it as you continue to tell the people around you that you got an album in you? How many times are you going to go into Barnes and Nobles and go and purchase books that are released and go and watch books become bestsellers and feel that little sense of on the inside of you, because you know you ain't even got started with yours, and you say yours better than theirs, but theirs is out on the shelf and being sold, and yours is still dangling in your imagination? Understand, the day that you believe in yourself, the day that you really know that there's value inside of yourself, the day that you really understand that there's a purpose inside of you, that there's value inside of you, that there are people who are waiting on you to begin their journey into the truth of themselves. And you remember what that, or you should remember what that was like for you. You should remember what it was like for you to roam around in the darkness. You should remember having to depend on other people and them to identifying the truth in you and acknowledging the truth in you in order for you to feel good about yourself. You should remember how easily you were swayed with the waves to and fro, tossed with all of the cares of this world. You should remember how good it was to come out of the darkness. You should remember how good it was to walk into the light. You should have remembered. You should. You really should. And if you did, then you would do the things that you are capable of doing in order to help others into that expression. And if you did that, then everything that it is that you desire would be provided to you. Seek ye first the kingdom. Sound familiar? We live in a world of distractions. It's not going to be easy. All of these special love relationships that you got, that you depend on, they're going to crumble. All of those special hate relationships that you have with people that you dislike and that you hold grudges with, you're going to have to drop those. All of the little itty-bitty opposite desires that you carry that take you one way and then snatch you back the other way. That idea that you have that you can be Mary in the living room sitting at the feet of the presence of I am, and you can be Martha in the kitchen working to make a point in a presentation at the same time. You're going to have to drop that. All of the illusions that you carry about yourself, all of the illusions that you carry about other people, all of the illusions that you carry about the universe, all of the illusions that you carry about God, you're going to have to drop those. You've been in your own way, and I'm just here to ask you to move. I have been creating since I was a little boy. I'm not telling you this by something that I read, and I'm definitely not telling you this to prove a point to you. If that was the case, I would have been told you. I've been creating since I was a little boy. I wrote my first book at 12. It sat on my mother's shelf until I was 18, and she gave it back to me. And by the time I was 18, I was knee deep in the streets, and I wasn't thinking about writing no book. Matter of fact, I had gotten into music, and I was spending 18 to 19 hours in the studio making 4 songs a day. And it was a requirement of me and my team that 3 to 4 songs a day were done. 3 songs completed, 1 song started, and that's where the next day started. And the whole time that this was going on, I'm working out of a shed. But that shed kept me alive because that shed kept me locked inside of the imagination that I was pursuing my dream. And to be real, I wasn't releasing any music. So the only thing that I was doing was upping my reps. I was putting myself up in experience. I was developing my craft. But in my head, that's not what I was doing. In my head, I was actively pursuing my dream. I was chasing it, and I wasn't releasing anything on a DSP. I wasn't putting anything on CDs and selling it. I was just coming to the studio every day. smoking and making 4 songs a day. So my catalog increased, but the awareness of my ability to make good music, it wasn't there because I wasn't doing the work to create such awareness in those around me, right? I wrote another book. We actually published that one. Stuck. Wrote another book. Selfless. We actually published that one. Selfless. We did a stage film. Hey, what's a stage film? It's a hybrid mix between a stage play and a movie. And I did all of that because that's what I saw on the inside of me. I was taught a really broken way of celebrating myself. I was taught a really broken version of humility. I was taught that you don't celebrate yourself. You don't broadcast your accomplishments. But when you don't do that, people often don't know how to acknowledge the value that's inside of yourself because they don't even know, you don't even acknowledge the value inside of yourself. So if you don't acknowledge the value inside of yourself and you're not presenting the value inside of yourself to others, then why would somebody ever reach inside of their resources to give you something in exchange for what it is that you provide? Most other people have no idea of the things that you're capable of because you don't open your mouth. You don't go and expose yourself to new people. You're hanging around the same people, saying the same things, getting the same reactions. Understand the biblical scripture, don't cast your pearls on swine. This is not calling the people around you pigs. Swine is not a person or a particular individual. The reference to pigs in the scripture of do not cast your gems, your revelations, your inner discoveries of love on those who are still wallowing in the mud, operating on a lower level of the mental plane, still absent of the awareness of love and absent of the awareness of truth as they are distracted in the pigsty. It's not an insult. It's not an insult. You have to be able to make spiritual observations inside of a spiritual experience as you progress through the physical plane, where your aim was to bring glory to the I amness inside of you. You have to move on the things that you are capable of, and you're capable of any and everything. You've been sitting on ideas for years, wondering how people are going to receive them. You get ready to act on a divine idea that flowed through the inside of you, and your first thought is what people going to think about it. People going to come buy it. They're going to come get for a day. Just ride around and look at some of the things that people have made businesses out of. Ride around and look at some of the names of these businesses. Ride around and see that you are overthinking and overanalyzing your next move out of the fear of people, perspective, and opinion. And that is why you're stagnated. That is why you are where you are. That's why you're frustrated, because your mind, once again, is wrapped up on things that do not exist, making them real to you.